everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie. If you're new here, I unbox subscription boxes and more. Today I am very excited to share a brand new box to my channel with you. This is called the Space and Beyond box. This is the bottom of the box. The alternate side had my address. Basically, this box is touted to be the box for all ultimate space lovers, and the box contains full-size and premium products. This is the third box that they have done, and I'm really excited to have this one to share with you on my channel. So if you'd like to see what's in this box for everyone all over the galaxy, please stay tuned. This is what I see when I open the box, and I'm really excited because I'm already seeing a magazine and a book and a lot of cool items. On the side it says make space for some cool new things. That's definitely going to happen, as you can tell. So I just want to tell you a little bit about this box before we delve in. It's a quarterly box, so most times the quarterly boxes will call themselves seasonal subscriptions, but this company has just said this is the May box, so that's fine with me. I'm fine with it being shipped quarterly. It was shipped mid-May, so that's great. I want to thank Space and Beyond because they sent this box kindly free to me for my review to share with you guys, and I'm super excited about it. I really loved the looks of the first two boxes they put out. Their first theme was the moon, the second one stars and constellations, and it appears this one is planetary science. So that's super exciting. The box is normally $49.95 per quarter, but basically per box, or if you sign up for an annual subscription, it drops the price to $44.80 per box, and both include free shipping, which is really great. So yeah, let's look in this awesome box and see what we got. Alright guys, so I would normally be geeking out over this magazine and sharing a bunch of articles and things with you, but it looks like I'm going to be geeking out over all of the items as well. So I do just want to briefly say that each box that I've seen the other two unboxed. It does come with this magazine called Space Particles, and it's put out by Astronomy. And I just want to tell you that Astronomy, as it says here on the front page, is a trusted team of expert astronomers and scientists who are dialed into the latest and greatest technology, trends, and topics in the space arena. And this planetary box includes 3 exclusive plus 1 bonus postcard available only to Space and Beyond box subscribers. So I absolutely cannot wait to dive into this. But just to give you an idea, some of the topics discussed in this awesome looking magazine, the topics are the past and present of water on Mars. Yeah, totally reading that. Voyage to a world of extremes. Cassini unveils Saturn. The unsolved mysteries of the ice giants. Plus, it also acts the first page as a item guide and tells me what's in the box, so that I'm sure will come in handy as well. So yeah, so the first item I pulled out of this box was this in the largest box within the box, and it was definitely worth looking at first. It is an Astronomy Mars globe. So basically this was created from the Astronomy magazine. It's 6 inches in diameter. And basically it was produced using maps from the 2 Viking missions that landed on Mars. And the best way they found to produce this globe was to use the footage from the Viking missions in Mars. The first one, I believe, was July 20th, 1976. I actually had no idea until recently that we had even had a spacecraft on Mars as far back as 1976. But they were the Viking missions. So they decided to use those maps, and they updated the data from a Mars Orbiter Laser altimeter aboard the Mars Global Surveyor, and that highly detailed globe includes 203 features labeled, including where spacecraft have landed. So basically there's 203 features on this globe, which is really fascinating. And like here would be like the North Pole and the South Pole, and then there's poles on the planets just like we have here on Earth. Viking 1 landed right here in, July 20th, 1976, which is totally fascinating. And so this is where they took all the primary photos that were used. And they did kind of start to describe on this insert how they did the maps. They basically used these daisy-like shapes. They started the globe with these of the northern and southern hemisphere of the red planet. So that's basically how they started it and made it. And so I did look up some of the features on this. Most of them appear to be craters and things of the like, because it's a very geological planet, and there's evidence of that in some of the photos that I'm going to show you in a minute. But the insert that came with the globe specifically wanted to point out 2 locations. The one on the left there is the Olympus Mons, which is a volcano on Mars, and it's about 375 miles or 600 kilometers in diameter, and rises about 13.6 miles or 22 kilometers above the surrounding plains. And Olympus Mons, so let's get our bearing point. I like to use Viking 1 as the landing site. Olympus Mons just turns and turns. And here's Olympus Mons right here. So you follow my finger, not too far. I mean, I don't know. It is kind of really far, basically more than my finger's length, but from the original Viking site. And the second image they talk about is pictured here on the right. And it's a Mars South Polar Gap, and it's a combination of water, ice, and frozen carbon dioxide. Talks a lot about that. Actually, this big circle here highlights a good chunk of its evolution. Mars has evolved from a world of rain and rivers and dusty land of ice and frost. The more we look, the more water we seem to find on Mars, which is truly fascinating. And I can't get this bigger picture in here for you guys. Let's see. See all the striations in the geologic rock formation right there? That is pure evidence that there was running water. I mean, you can just tell that would be running water, right? And this is basically gullies on the pole-facing wall of the Nequero crater in the southern mid-latitudes of Mars, pointing to the fast movement of water. We could try to find the Nequero crater on here, but as you can see, there are tons of craters labeled. I mean, this is fascinating. When I opened this up and took one look at this, I thought, wow, I know next to nothing about Mars other than the recent discoveries and geological formations of water and such like that. So this is just a really cool thing to have. It's got definitely darker areas. We have, just like Earth on our moons, we've got craters, we've got formations. So does Mars. And it comes on this nice base so you can display it. And I will probably put this up on top of my crystal shelf because it's completely awesome. And I was really, really enjoying looking at this globe. Well, globe-shaped replica of Mars. So the byline of this article really sums it up nicely, and I probably should have started there. But basically, as a summary to this first item, Mars has evolved from a lush water planet to a frigid desert, yet water persists there today. And I think this article does an amazing job of explaining it. You can look up anything you want on here, and it's just a really cool complementary item with the magazine. So this next item is a super, super cool poster, and it says, visit the nearest 14 habitable exoplanets. What is an exoplanet? Well, you might ask that question. It's basically a planet that orbits a star outside of the solar system. So these aren't our typical planets, that we know from elementary school. But the product guide talks about this poster. And it's an exclusive to this box. Astronomers have discovered more than 4,000 planets circling stars other than our own. but as far as scientists can tell, only a handful of these may harbor conditions considered habitable by humans. 14 of the nearest planets that fit the bill are featured on this 11-inch by 17-inch poster from the Astronomy magazine. So that is just super fascinating. All these places could potentially have water. But here's the catch. You may wonder, how far away are they from the Earth? So down here is, I'll try to bring this up closer. It's a timeline, kind of like a distance line, really, of space from the sun. And this is extremely difficult to do. But there's the sun, big shining bright there on the left. The closest one is Proxima Centauri, which we also know is the closest star to Earth. And it gives the distance from Proxima Centauri. This is going to be difficult to read and show you guys at the same time. The distance between Proxima Centauri is, I thought it gave it from the sun. Now this is saying, okay, yeah, Proxima Centauri is 4 light years from the sun. It's the closest star to Earth, because I got confused because it's also about 4.24 light years away from Earth. So I would really love to see Earth somewhere in this little timeline here. But we know that Proxima Centauri is actually one star in a group of 3, the Alpha Centauri trio. There's basically... So just to give you an idea of Proxima Centauri being 4.24 light years away from us, how close are we? So this made me wonder then, how close are we to the sun? We are 0.000016019 light years away from the sun. So these are still very far out, but these are the closest that are potentially able to be explored. So I'm going to take you over some of the other ones, because they're all really fascinating. And you may have heard of some of these, like Bernard's star, I believe, was named after probably an astronomer. The Tau Ceti, and I'm going to come back to the Tau Ceti because that's an interesting one. Wolf 1061 is up there. Gliese 832. And then there's some with just letters and numbers. G33323. Gliese 625. Another number 1. And then the Trappist 1 down here. Now the interesting thing, 13 of these are red dwarf stars. And only 1 is a yellow dwarf star. So then I got me thinking, okay, what is the difference between a red and a yellow dwarf star? The most rudimentary way to describe them is that red dwarf stars basically have a low mass. So when you think of that, just think that they're not as heavy, for example, as a yellow dwarf star. When you think yellow dwarf star, think a massive mass like the sun, for example. So that's why it got me wondering, because Tau Ceti here is the one that is the yellow dwarf star, and all the rest are red dwarf stars. So that's just super cool, and I would love to research more into that. If anyone knows, feel free to explain. But I just find it coincidental that out of the 14 closest ones, 13 are red dwarfs and 1 is a yellow dwarf that could potentially be habitable to humans. Alright, so before I show you the rest of the items, next up we have this gorgeous 4x6 print, and I really can't wait to get my picture frame to display all the prints that I get from these different boxes. This one is stunning, and it also could function as a postcard on the back. But basically, that beautiful picture is of Galaxy M106. It's one of the first galaxies in which a central black hole was discovered. It's an exclusive postcard, and it features an image from David Eicher's new book, Galaxies. And you can, again, like I said, either display it or send it a quick note to an astronomy-loving friend. Very, very awesome. I absolutely love this. I love getting artwork in books and prints, in boxes and prints and stuff like that. And speaking of books, this is a great segue. We have a New York Times best-selling author called Deva Sobel. She wrote this book, The Planets. Her New York Times selling books were Longitude and Galileo's Daughter. And this is a cool, I've read a couple of the pages. It's a really cool, nice piece of science writing, which is near and dear to my heart. Science writing, I actually offered a job in science writing and couldn't take it up, and it was heartbreaking not to be able to take it because, quite honestly, I love the idea of conveying science and breaking down the research studies and making it more digestible for everyone to learn about. And that's exactly what she does in this book. And that's what I got. She kind of wove her narrative in with her experiences, as this lady has written science writing for 45 years, which is phenomenal. So I wanted to read a little bit about from the back of the book cover. In Planets, basically, it was kind of a most ambitious topic that she's done in a book format. And she says, whether revealing what lies behind Venus's cocoon of acid clouds or recalling her personal encounter with moon dust, this intimate account is filled with fascination, beauty, and surprise. Written in Deva Sobel's characteristically graceful pose, The Planets is a stunningly original celebration of our solar system that offers a distinctive view of our place in the universe. And that's just from the back cover. And the table of contents shows basically going into each planet individually. I'm just going to show you the table of contents real quick. I'm not going to read it all. If you're interested, you can certainly pause this video and look at the different chapters. But I like how she brings in, it does reference that there's a pop culture theme in here, sci-fi with Mars, going down the list to the end. And there's one quote I want to share from the beginning of the book. Alright, this was actually not written by the author, but I just love how this paints such a picture of space. At night, I lie awake in the ruthless unspoken, knowing that planets come to life, bloom, and die away, like daylilies opening one after another in every nook and cranny of the universe. And that was by Diane Ackerman. It's from The Planets, A Cosmic Pastoral. So I'm assuming that that's her book. If you're interested, you can pause there. It also sounds like she's an amazing writer. I absolutely love that passage. And the description card that they include in the magazine, they basically claim that with this book you'll fall in love with the heavens all over again, in case you hadn't already. But this next item, you're probably wondering what this is. This is a planet Lollipop. And I really like the blue part of it. It looks really cool. And there it is, homemade, I believe, in Los Angeles, California, from Sparko Sweets. And they claim it's the most beautiful candy in the universe. And our Planetary Silence collection includes 4 exclusive +1 bonus Lollipop available to Space and Beyond subscribers only. So that's really nice. It's a really nice aesthetic piece to add to the box as well, for sure. So we've got 2 more items left. This next one is a kind of DIY assembly required Metal Earth Kepler Spacecraft steel model kit. No glue required. I'm actually not a kind of assembly required type person. That's not exactly my strength. But this corner cut out here gives you a picture and an idea of what the steel looks like. And most of you probably know what the Kepler spacecraft does, but in case you don't, it was designed to survey a portion of our region of the Milky Way in order to discover Earth-sized exoplanets in or near habitable zones and estimate how many billions of stars in the Milky Way have such planets. So that's related to the poster that we talked about earlier. So I like that, and there's definitely a collect them all kind of thing going on. And so there you go, and we'll put that there. Just a little bit more about the model from the description card. It's fun and satisfying to assemble. Hopefully it's fun. I don't know, I get a little frustrated sometimes with assembly required. Anyway, this amazingly detailed etched model from Metal Earth features the Kepler spacecraft. It's named after the astronomer Johann Kepler. This spacecraft launched in March 2009 by NASA to discover Earth-sized planets orbiting other stars. Wow your family and friends with this unique 3D model. Oh, I didn't realize it was 3D. That's super cool. So that's really cool. I like that item. And last but certainly not least, we have what's in this discreet little black envelope. We shall take a look. Quite honestly, when I first opened this, I just thought, oh, it's a cool magnet of NASA, of their logo. But to my surprise, it came with this little instruction booklet with a QR code and an app to download, and it's called the Astro Reality is the name of the app that you end up downloading. And basically, have anybody heard of augmented reality before? Well, I hadn't, and so when I downloaded the app, I projected, basically just followed the instructions, having no clue what to expect, no clue what I was about to experience, no less. I mean, it was like, okay, enjoy and embrace your adventure, and it showed this diagram of where to put your phone in relation to the image, and it didn't even exactly specifically specify the magnet. So I'm sitting here thinking, well, what am I supposed to do? And so eventually, I did point it at the magnet since the instructions came with this magnet. And guys, you wouldn't believe it. Augmented reality, if you haven't experienced it, I highly recommend you find some type of object that has it and try it. I mean, my phone basically my phone became a projector, like from school, and it showed, like, school back in the day, and it showed like slideshows of headlines of NASA and space historic moments in history while actually having a space-like theme music. I mean, imagine my surprise when I thought this was just a magnet, and then I find out that it contains, through the app and the projections, like, loads of information. Augmented realities was just a total surprise bonus. I literally thought this was a magnet. It was going to be a quick object to say at the end. I will insert some pictures in a little bit from my augmented reality experience. Unfortunately, I would have loved to have had another camera on top of what I was doing with my phone, because I projected it onto the box that this came into, with this, of course, on top. And that worked really well, but unfortunately I couldn't capture that experience for you guys on camera. I really wish I could have, because I was just awestruck, like I said, having never heard of augmented reality. But let me read you the description real quick to see if there's anything I missed about the magnet. And it even says augmented reality magnet in the title, but I had never heard of it. I had no clue what it was. Maybe I'm way behind the times. But basically, honor the iconic history of NASA with an augmented reality magnet featuring the classic meatball insignia. Immerse yourself in the grand history of human space exploration while hanging your stargazing notes or kids' artwork on the fridge. So I'm going to stop this video and insert some pictures of some of the headlines and things that were projected in this augmented reality magnet. I can't believe how awesome that experience was, and I got to really go through history, see what the headlines looked like at the time of the events. Of course, I kind of highlighted some of the older events that some weren't necessarily in my lifetime, just so I could see the headlines, and I really wish I could share more of that experience with you guys, and perhaps it was just because I didn't know what augmented reality was. It was so much fun for me to discover and learn and figure out how to do it, and literally reading the instructions, not even knowing what to expect. Truly cool. So guys, this is the May quarterly box of Space and Beyond. I have to thank the company so much for sending this box to me free for my review. I hope I did it justice. I really wanted to give you guys an awesome feel for what these amazing items are. It is well over the price of $49.95 a quarter. I mean, I can't believe not only all the objects you get, but all the information and the learning that it not only gives you, but then inspires you to look up further things. And so, just to recap the quick items, I mean, we can't forget about this awesome magazine from Astronomy. This has been not only a product guide, but a reference guide for me in what I've wanted to learn. And many more. There's many more articles in here I haven't even gotten to dive into myself. And of course, the Mars replica globe, which was just fascinating. Probably my favorite object in the box. Super cool. The poster of the exoplanets, which is also very amazing. I learned a lot from that poster. The book, which I can't wait to delve into more. The Kepler Spacecraft 3D model kit. Of course, the augmented reality amazing NASA logo magnet. And the fun planetary lollipop. So if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And your comments and interaction down at the bottom would be delightful. Please, if you want to see any future unboxings, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I will catch you later. Bye.